Okay, live on location with Murray and director Jeff behind the camera that makes it all happen. And this is our 4th episode, and we're grateful and lucky to have Jordan Boudreau, 6th Dan black belt, founder of Family TaeKwon-Do in Prince George, here in Prince George.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you, Murray.
Thanks. You too. Okay, we'll start with first question. What got you into training Taekwondo in the first place?
Yeah, so it's funny, and a lot of people may or may not even believe me, but like I knew even when I was little, like a little kid, like 4 and 5 years old, I wanted to do martial arts. I didn't know any other martial arts other than the name karate. So obviously I wanted to be in karate. And one of the most early memories I can have of knowing for sure that I wanted to be in karate was we were at a family friend's house, and they had another young child there, and we were hanging out in his bedroom, and he had this certificate on his wall, and it was for a yellow belt from whatever the club happened to be in Prince George at the time. And I just thought, just seeing that certificate on this kid's wall, I'm just like, oh, this is amazing, right?
Karate?
It was a karate certificate, yeah. And so just seeing that, I knew I wanted to be just like whatever. I hadn't even really had a chance to really meet this kid, but I just wanted to be like him because I knew he was in martial arts, right? And he had this karate certificate on the wall. So unfortunately, I didn't actually get into Taekwondo and martial arts in general until I was 13. So I think I got a late start in it, but it's just one of those things. And I finally had the opportunity to join a martial arts school at 13. My older brother had already started. It was just in one of the local fitness gyms, running out of the aerobics room. So a very small club. But that's how I got my start in it, and kind of never looked back from there. It was a different organization than what I'm in now, but still Taekwondo, still kicking and punching, and it was what I wanted. I had the uniform on, I had the belt around my waist.
You got your yellow belt?
Yeah, I finally got that yellow belt. Yeah, exactly. And I've just kind of been doing it ever since. And that was really my first big start, was when I was 13 in Taekwondo.
Cool. Wow. How long did it take you going from joining at 13 to getting a black belt?
For myself, it was a bit of a long process. As I said, I was part of a different organization when I first joined. And so in the world of Taekwondo, there's basically 2 large factions. You have the WT, which is the World Taekwondo, and the ITF, which is the International Taekwondo Federation. And so the school that I started with it practiced the WT style and system.
Is that the Olympic one?
That's the Olympic style Taekwondo, yeah. So I trained with that for about 7-8 years. I got up to the rank of black stripe, so just before black belt. Unfortunately, just at that time, it was multiple instructors, and some were moving, and didn't really know who was going to take over the club. And I was loyal to that club for sure, but the writing was just on the wall that I was probably going to end up shutting down soon, unfortunately. And my brother, by this time, had already left this club and gone on to join the Prince George Taekwondo School. And he wasn't pushing me, but he's like, you really got to come and check out this club. Like, it's really good, right? And so I'm like, yeah, well, I want to get my black belt here, and then I'll probably move on, because I don't know how much longer this school is going to last anyway, unfortunately. And I went in there one day as a black stripe, and I watched a class that my older brother was in. And I go upstairs to the gym, and it was at the Roller Dome here at the time. And I go into the room, and there's probably about 20 to 25 black belts up there, all training.
Wow.
And I don't even think the school that I belonged to even had 25 students at that time. So go in there, obviously see all these super talented black belts in there, and I could tell right away, like, yeah, I'm not on the same level as these students in this club, right? So definitely got humbled, because I thought I was doing pretty good as a black stripe, and then just watching one class, and This would be around when I was like 20, just turning 21. And I actually traveled to Vancouver with this club. I wasn't even a member of it yet. I just traveled down to Vancouver to watch their national championships. And now I got to see all of the competitors from across Canada that are in this organization. And I, again, just one
ITF.
more ITF, yeah. Just one more example of I was not on the same level as these competitors.
Yeah.
And I definitely wasn't where I thought I was as far as abilities. So made the move over and joined up at that school and
Nice.
kind of never looked back. And it's been amazing ever since. So
That's amazing. So did you start right away? You joined that school. Then were you training for nationals and competing in provincials and nationals and stuff?
I waited a bit. I actually, when I first joined that club, I had broken my arm. And so I just freshly got a cast on this arm. So I was training with this broken arm. But I wasn't getting ready for any nationals. I knew, like, again, I was telling you, I was not ready for that level of competition after just sitting in the stands watching it. So it took me about a year and a half training with all these new members, and then finally tried out for national championships. And I'd actually gone to a couple of smaller regional tournaments where maybe there's not going to be as many competitors, and just kind of break myself into that new style. So
Cool, nice. So did you get a black belt with the other club, or did you wait to get the black belt?
no, I had left before I tested for black belt.
Nice.
Yeah, I had got my black stripe, so it's probably about a year away still from testing for black belt. But again, just you could just see like the writing was on the wall that the school may not last much longer anyway. So I probably should have stayed there till the end, but I just knew, like, for myself wanting to advance in martial arts, I knew that I had to take this next step and go train with these higher level competitors in town. So
The higher level black belts.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Was your brother a black belt at the time?
he was, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, he had left and joined up with the school. He had been there for about a year, obtained his black belt there. He was actually one of the assistant instructors there with the smaller kids programs there. So
Very cool. Nice.
Yep.
All right, then you might have already said this, but how long did it take you to get your black belt from when you started in the ITF club?
So that was about, I'm going to say it was about a year, like I said, about a year and a half. Okay. I'd gone to a couple of tournaments and competed in the black belt division as a red belt, just kind of, again, sort of feeling it out. And there wasn't a lot of people at some of the smaller regional tournaments. So if there wasn't a big enough division, they would bump you up or sort of kind of group other belts together to make one division. So even though I wasn't a black belt yet, I was still able to compete in those black belt divisions.
Against the black belt guys?
Against black belts, yeah. So, yeah, and that was, again, a huge eye-opener. Yeah, they were crazy good. So
wow. Cool.
So, yeah, in the end, I think it probably took me about a year and a half to get my black belt with that new school.
Very cool. Can you talk about the process?
For sure. So I would say if you're a child coming into martial arts, the process, especially nowadays, it's not as strict. Like when I first got into martial arts, it was just train, and they're like, to play a game in class, that was out of the question. You didn't do that at all, right? And so for kids nowadays, I think it's geared more towards, like, training should be fun, right? If you're excited to come here and learn martial arts, you should be able to come here and have fun and enjoy it. It shouldn't just be so regimented and so strict. If you want to be a competitor, then you kind of have to take that upon yourself to make sure you regiment those training sessions. But I think for just the average child or teenager or adult coming into it, typical sessions are going to be you're going to come in, you're going to do your warm-up, whether it be just running some laps or whatever we happen to do. And we always do some fun games too, right? Like we played Taekwondo tag, where instead of just using your hands, you have to actually kick each other. So
nice.
just change it up a little bit to make it a little bit more fun and engaging. It's just doesn't have to be, like I said, so strict and standing in one spot. You can actually have fun with martial arts now. So it's been a big change from when I started as a child to now how I teach children in my club. So it's I think the biggest change that we have is just how free and sort of you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just the opportunity to have fun with your training. It doesn't always have to be like like you're training for this fight to the death sort of thing, right? Martial arts can be a lot of fun, and we want to make sure that that's what we're doing with our club.
Cool. And you have patterns. What is it called? Patterns, and then
Yes. So the Korean terminology for pattern is tul, Tul. English terminology pattern. We have sparring. We do power breaking. We have specialty breaking, which is like it's more of a demonstration of just the competitor's athleticism to kick super high or kick over an obstacle. So it's kind of a very interesting form of competition. We also have prearranged sparring, is something that is only, I don't know, like it's for a select few, because the technique that's required, the control that's required, it's almost like a choreographed fight scene is what you're watching, and they actually compete with them now. So that's definitely something that's been new in the past couple of years to competition, is having this event where two competitors, and it can be male or female, and it can be kids, adults, it doesn't matter. And they'll perform these sort of mock fight scenes, and it's really interesting to see
with the patterns.
They'll do pattern technique, but they'll apply it to each other. So basically, when normally you're doing a pattern would just be by yourself, this basically takes a pattern and adds some sort of practicality to it. Even though some of the moves are quite theatrical, it's showing what these techniques are actually used for. So if we're blocking a certain way, it'll demonstrate what technique we're trying to stop with that technique.
Cool.
Yeah.
So to be a black belt, do you have to know a ton of different patterns?
So in our style of Taekwondo, we have 24 different patterns that we practice. Each one of these patterns is meant to symbolize a significant Korean, whether it be a higher ranking dignitary or a certain moment in Korean history. So they all have a special meaning associated with each of those patterns, and there's 24 of them that help represent the 24 hours in a day, which sort of symbolize our whole life devoted to the sport, and to the martial art.
Cool, I like it. So then, when did you join or become the founder of Family TaeKwon-Do?
So yeah, that was again unfortunately the Prince George Taekwondo School, again, like as we all change, we get different careers, we're forced to move away. So
that was the ITF one you're talking about.
That was the ITF school, yeah. And at this time, the instructor was going to have to move away, and we're sort of like thinking like, who's going to be taking this over? Hopefully it's someone, right?
Yeah.
And that instructor moved away, and a kind of a group of us sort of banded together, and it wasn't just one certain person that was going to take it over. We all decided to run it collectively. We changed the name to Apex Martial Arts, and we were running it, and it was okay. Each instructor sort of had their own ideas on how the school wanted to go and what avenue we should take to see it progress. And again, not to any fault of any of us, it was just sort of like different ideas, different pathways, just led to myself and my brother sort of, we're gonna go down this road, and we're gonna try and run this on our own. So
nice. Yeah. So you guys both founded Family TaeKwon-Do?
Yes. So we started that together. We ran it for quite a few years. We're just running out of like community halls and basement of churches. At one time, we were operating out of a dance studio. So there was little kids in other rooms learning how to dance, and we're in the dance studio beside them learning martial arts. So it was a pretty interesting dynamic. But we trained everywhere, to the Vanway Community Hall, all the way down to the Knox United Church downtown, and just some quiet little basement, right? So
that's
definitely some pretty humble beginnings when we started.
It's quite the process. You made it work.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
And then when did you go get the location now? And was this your first location you have now?
No, we've jumped around quite a lot, actually. When we decided to go to a commercial school and get our own location, excuse me, that's when my wife came on board, Stacy, and she started running the books and doing the business side and all the accounting, all the stuff that I don't want to do. She's really good at that. And so, yeah, since we started the commercial locations, she's come on and she's ran the business side of things for us since then. And so, yeah, we probably had, let me think, about 5 different locations. So yeah, it's been good. Every time we find a new location, it's a little bit bigger. So obviously it lets me know that we are expanding and we're still growing. But the issues that come with getting a new building is higher costs. So it's all part of it. So it's kind of balancing it out over the years. But yeah, we have a great location now, and yeah, it's been just amazing.
That's great. How many students do you have at it?
So I think I don't know the exact number. I think we currently operate, and it's always fluctuating. I think we run between 140, 150 students.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's been great. And we got amazing group of little preschoolers all the way up to our advanced black belt class. So awesome family classes. We have one of the things that we've really prided ourselves on is the fact that moms and dads can come to the same class and train with their kids no matter how old they are, right? And those classes have always been super popular with us. So it's not that like everyone's there trying to become a national champion or anything like that, but it's just great when moms and dads can now get on the floor and they can share the same training space with their kids.
That's
right?
amazing. As a family.
As a family,
Yeah.
you betcha.
So did you
Great.
call it Family TaeKwon-Do to attract those families, or was it because you and your brother were a family?
You know, I think when we started, we were going to call it Brothers Taekwondo. Cool. We wanted to call it just Boudreau's Taekwondo, and I always felt like, and I don't want to take anything away from people that call it their last name, like they're very proud of their accomplishments. I didn't want to get like sort of have any ego behind it, so I didn't want my name to be in the logo or in the name of the business. So we just honestly, like, what do we want to attract here? Do we want just fighters? Do we want just kids? We want everyone, right? So that's why we just decided to go with family. So,
Nice.
and it just, as soon as we said it, a couple of people heard us say it, and they're like, yeah, you have to call it Family TaeKwon-Do.
That's
So,
great. Do you still have room, more space for more families or individuals to come join your club?
oh, absolutely. The location that we have now, we more than doubled our floor space from our last facility. So it's, yeah, we just actually finished a seminar with 50 students on the floor and lots of rooms. So we know we can get those rooms and those classes nice and filled. So
Cool. Okay, if somebody wants to join family, what do? Do they go to your website or do they show up?
yeah, so it's funny because we don't actually do a lot of advertising. We never have.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, we just try to rely on our quality, right? And hopefully the experience that people have training with us will resonate, and they'll want to share that with people that they know. And like I can't even give you a budget of how much we spend on advertising because it would be such a low dollar, it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah.
So we run our website for sure, like, so the information is definitely out there, but and our Instagram and Facebook pages and everything like that. But for the most part, if you want to find out about us, it would just be through the website. We have our social media, and I'm guilty of this. I'm the worst with it, 100%. But we recently have had one of our younger students, the 20-year-old age group, and it's been amazing. Awesome. I just can't believe
On top of the social media?
Yeah, they're just all over it, right? Awesome. And I got a kick out of it when I was looking at the sort of the percentage of engagement and involvement with that. And it's up like 420 some odd %,
Nice.
like some astronomical number. So it's been awesome having them take that over for us, and it's showing amongst other schools. Even we just got back from the Western Championships in Calgary, and I had numerous people asking me like, who took over your social media for you, because it's changed a lot over the past year. And it's definitely not me. So
I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
A lot of good fun videos too.
yeah, it's awesome, right? Everyone really loves them. So
Nice. Awesome. Well, maybe I'll jump in and talk about my experience with Family TaeKwon-Do
For sure.
and what got me into it. So maybe a little bit of my story. I played volleyball, multiple sports most of my life, then chose volleyball. But then I took, in between my third and fourth year of university, when I was playing for University of Manitoba, I got in a big fight at the generator downtown.
Yeah.
And I realized then I wanted to learn how to protect myself. I went pretty intense about it. I dropped out of university the next year to take a year off and just train MMA back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that was too much like testosterone, ego driven, and not to say names, but it was pretty intense training and
Right.
to become a tough guy who fights outside of like in the real world.
Yeah.
Which obviously for Taekwondo you don't promote that at all. It's like
Yeah, I mean, we definitely try to make sure that a lot of what we're teaching is not just for competition, that it can still be of practical use in the real world. But yeah, we definitely try to take the high road and steer around the outside conflict for sure.
yeah. So plus years ago that wasn't exactly the same
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we used
I
to
hear
train
it.
as buddies.
Yeah,
And anyways, besides all that, I loved it and was training hard. I was actually going to King of the Cage. I was going to fight in Edmonton at King of the Cage.
Right.
Then I ended up going back to volleyball because my coach called me, the university coach, and said, "We want you back. Your starting spot. You can have it right back."
right.
Big decision at the time because I hadn't touched volleyball, but I fell in love with martial arts. I fell in
Right,
love with
yeah.
it. We kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, loved the two of them.
yeah.
I do boxing a bit and judo. Once a week boxing, once a week judo on top of the sparring and
Right, right,
kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. Anyways, my dad asked me, okay, well, who's your favorite fighter? It was Muhammad Ali at the time.
Yeah,
No look at him now.
yeah.
So anyways, to try to make a long story short, I went back to volleyball, ended up having a great life there. But now, moving back to Prince George, I wanted to get back into martial arts and not take any more headshots.
Yeah, for sure.
So my cousin, Brandon Jennings,
Yeah,
fourth degree now? Is that
fourth
right?
dan, yes.
Fourth
You
dan,
betcha,
fourth
yeah.
dan,
Yeah.
fourth dan black belt. And director Jeff behind camera, we were all talking and they both spoke very, very highly of you and Family TaeKwon-Do and the people
right.
there. So long story even shorter, we're like, maybe we can do a vision collision.
Yeah.
So as you
Makes
know,
sense,
2 years ago, was it 2 years ago, Jeff? 2 years ago, this February or something, I started training at Family.
Right.
And you were you and
Yep.
Stacy and Family,
Yep.
you were very welcoming to me and treated me with respect, and you fully welcomed me, and I appreciate
No,
that.
for sure. No, we were happy to see someone as tall as you come through the doors. It's a known fact that if you're tall and slender, that's definitely the Taekwondo body type that's ideal for our style of fighting, right? So to have someone of your height and the long reach and everything, it's like, oh, this is going to be great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I would love to. My back was hurting me at the time, as you know. I trained for 3 months or so, and my goal was to go train as fight at nationals as a white belt after training with you for 3 months. Hurt my back in the process again, didn't get to train as much as I wanted. But I felt when I was fighting at nationals in the white belt division, was it 40 plus or whatever it was?
Yeah.
I loved it. It felt easy for me.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then, remember the conflict during semifinals? I was red in the blue corner and
Yeah.
or whatever it was, and vice versa.
They get the colors mixed up.
Yeah. And it was easy for me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hit him hard or come straight on.
Yeah.
Which I did the first shot though.
Yeah.
Remember, I always thought when I was boxing, I like the gloves down, bam, bam.
Little roll with that.
Yeah, so I believe I did it that way.
Yeah.
Hit him straight on, got a warning.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I kicked his butt.
Yeah.
And I had a liver shot, which I was proud of. And then I was just so nice. It was near the end of the round. I didn't need to strike him more because I had enough points.
Yeah.
And his hand got raised.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, it is unfortunate for sure. But no, that was a lot of fun. It was great to see someone come in with the enthusiasm that you had, and the idea that we had behind it was like, let's see just how far we can take someone in 3 months and see how well they do at this national level tournament, white belt or not, right? It's still a big event, and there's hundreds upon hundreds of people there, so there's nerves that come with it, and you're definitely in a different world when you have these judges staring at you and corner judges and umpires. So to see you in there after such a short amount of time that we spent on the training to do as well as you did. And then, yeah, unfortunately, the discrepancy and the wrong call at the end was unfortunate for sure. But I mean, like, you also were able to see how you can compete in martial arts, and you can just demonstrate proper technique, and you can still hit. Like, a lot of ITF gets known as being like this no contact sport, and you can see clearly even as a white belt it's not that way. And it's you can still get in there and you can hit and you can bang it out with people, but you don't have to really run that high risk of serious injury, right? Nowadays, with the new safety equipment that we have to wear, and especially even just really recently in BC with new regulations around contact, so you can still have a really good challenging match, and you don't have to worry so much about the injuries that are going to be sustained with it, right?
I loved it. I remember the challenge I had too at the time, because I didn't train much for patterns, and then you and the other coaches were like, "You're doing it." Mm-hmm. The morning, was it the morning or the night before? Forget. Director Jeff remember the details. That's maybe the morning of.
Yeah, you better learn it quick.
You're like, oh, okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So,
you know, a lot of people find that the pattern competition, and for those that don't know it, what we do is two competitors will come into the ring, and they'll basically perform the same pattern simultaneously, and the judges will choose whoever had the cleaner technique, had better balance, had more power, who demonstrated more of the breathing that's associated with delivering that power. And then obviously the judges will choose who they felt was able to perform better. But I've found over the years that a lot of people find that to be more stressful than the actual free sparring.
Yeah, for me,
right?
100%.
Yeah, because now you're literally just performing. You're not, there's no repercussions or anything for missing a block or anything like that. It's strictly performing. And a lot of people have that sort of fear of just, now people are looking just solely at me, not me anxiety. Engaging with another person in combat, right?
Yeah, so, and reacting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I remember I was training, you were teaching me the patterns, but then I got injured. And then I didn't practice the patterns. Then I came back right before nationals and then dove into it. That's why I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think in the end, you for such a short amount of time training, you did amazing, right? And nice. You were it was cool because you brought a cheering squad with you as well, right? And so it was awesome to finally. A lot of people go to these competitions and they watch their kids, and it's like, oh, well done, little Johnny, like good job, but. You had friends, there were signs and everything. I thought it was great to see that excitement again at these events, like we used to have back in the day. So,
yeah, it was really exciting for me. And I know I moved away after that, but now I'm back. And speaking of back, my back is a lot better.
Good.
And I would love to finish that little vision collision we had.
Absolutely.
We got some footage there, and maybe we could tie that story together somehow.
Absolutely, 100%. It was great. Just the engagement that you brought into the club, and the social media content that we were able to create leading up to that we had tons of people just commenting on it, how good it was. And so, I would love to wrap that up for sure.
I'd love that. Okay. When's the next, is it Westerns that's next?
So we just had our Westerns recently. That was in Calgary just a few weeks ago.
Nice.
Awesome time we had there. We only took a small group this time. We only took 10 of us there, but,
did you get any medals?
Yeah, we did good. Yeah, we had let me see. We only took 3 black belts with us this time, but and 2 of them had only been a black belt for about 2 months.
Oh wow!
So
then fighting in other black belts.
Fighting in black belt division, and we definitely, as an instructor, it's my responsibility to look out for the safety of my competitors, and I knew that for one of our juniors. He was going to be competing against a high-level Canadian athlete that actually just returned from the World Cup in Argentina weeks, if not just days before this tournament. And I knew that he was going to have to be fighting against him. And
challenge.
So I told a number of my students, I'm like, you have to make sure that I'm the one that gets to talk to this student first. I don't want to put any sort of sense of fear into him. I need to be able to talk to him about this particular competitor, because I know that he's high level and I know that he's exceptionally skilled. What I also know about him after having coached with him at the last World Championships was that he's very skilled and he is also very controlled. So I was trying to like emphasize to my student, you may be fearful of this competitor. I think it's a good competitor to go against first because he does have such good control. He's not going to literally try to hurt you, right? He's not going to do anything with intent to try to hurt you. He will probably light you up, right? But
He won't try to knock you out.
he's not going to try to completely injure you or embarrass you in any way. He'll do what he needs to do to win.
Nice.
And then he'll probably, and he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He kind of turned it into a training session. So he actually even gave him an opportunity to throw some kicks and like, don't just stay tight in your guard. Like,
So let's do this.
throw some
Cool.
stuff, right? And let you experience what it's like to fight. So I thanked him after the match, and my student, he got banged up a bit. He got a nice black eye and he got a cut lip and all the great things that come from competition, but it didn't deter him from wanting to compete. He now knows what level he needs to get to. Exactly what I went through when I first started. Like I knew like, whoa, this is higher level than what I'm used to. And so he got that opportunity as well, right? So
We learned a lot through that process.
oh yeah, like I mean, we learn a lot through some mistakes and getting hit, and to know now how hard he has to train when he comes back, and he'll take that experience going forward, right? So the next person that he faces won't be two individuals that just got back from World Cup. It might be someone who's also just got their black belt, and now it's a little bit more even, and he won't have that stress that comes from knowing that he has to go against such high level, right? So
That's cool. Sounds like, I remember a little bit, there's different values. Sounds like these guys have those values.
absolutely, like the core values that come from martial arts training, and it's not just Taekwondo. It's I believe all martial arts are trying to instill that sort of humility, and we have a set of tenets that we follow: the courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and this indomitable spirit.
Nice.
And before we begin competition, we talk about those things, right? That yes, we're here to engage in a combative sport, but it has to be respect shown at all times, right? We have to make sure that we're treating each other as brothers and sisters in this sport, not just a rival or an enemy, right? So you'll see it all over it. Even just little kids when they're done shaking their hands, and the bowing to each other, is that sort of respect and courtesy is always shown through every level of competition.
I love it. That's cool. Even from my experience, when it came to the semifinals, after that fight, that one guy came to me, he said, "You kicked my butt." Like,
Yeah.
didn't say butt, but
Yeah.
And then full respect, and we became friends. It was like a family within the studio, the dojang.
Yeah, dojang, yeah.
Dojang, family within that. But I felt like, okay, so we were like new friends. I met new friends just at one competition.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd love to finish the Vision Collision at a competition somewhere.
100%. We were just when we were at the last Calgary tournament, we had one of our dads was competing in the men's green belt division.
Nice.
45-year-old dudes all just hanging out, and they're like, "Oh, you used to live here. Like, do you still know so and so? Is he still?" They happened to be talking about Sun Peaks, and he's like, "Do you remember this guy? He was a lift attendant." And I was like, "Oh, this guy's still there, totally." And so next thing you know, like they're building up that friendship, and next thing they got to get called into the ring and go fight each other. But when it's over, it's high fives and handshakes all around again. So yeah,
Cool. I like it.
we have the national championships that are going to be held in Quebec, not Quebec City, but just outside Quebec City in May. So really looking forward to that. I always love going back east to compete. A lot of high-level competitors back there as well. So growing up in Taekwondo, the Eastern competitors were always the ones to watch out for, like especially the crazy French Canadians. Right? They're always so good. So it's going to be awesome to go back there. We've always had good luck going back east with our tournaments. So Really looking forward to seeing how well our black belts can do. This will be a selection nationals, so
So
Black-
no white belts then?
there'll be black belt or sorry white belts there, but when it becomes a selection year, so you vie for points throughout the year, and that'll get you selected into either the automatically go into a round robin division, or if you have to go into pool B, which is like you have to fight your way into the round robin. So the top 4 competitors of each black belt division will now do a round robin to determine the national champion.
Cool.
And so then what will happen is how we do it now is you get invited to a selection camp, which happens on the following day after nationals. So black belts that either won their division or were just kind of noticed to be of like high caliber get asked to go to a selection camp.
Cool.
And then that's where they determine the team that will go and represent Canada at the next World Championships.
The World Championships.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
is that the process you had to go through back when you competed in Worlds?
So I was just saying they changed it a little bit. So how it worked for me, you still had to get the points throughout the year, and that would put you into the round robin division. So I always made sure that I went to as many tournaments as I could, even though there might only be a few competitors, because it was going to get you those points. Those points guarantee you that chance to just go right to automatically to the round robin. Because the last thing you want to do is go to national championships and have to fight all these people just to get into the opportunity to get a medal or to get selected. So for me, how it was when I was able to go represent Canada was if you won nationals. So if you were the national champion, you automatically had the opportunity to go to.
So you're the national champion.
I've been national champion a few times now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Sorry,
sure. Yeah.
Well, I probably knew that, but wow,
Yeah.
okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I've had the opportunity. I don't know exactly how many times. It's not like I've lost count, but I just it's not over like 10. Like some people are like, 20-time national champion. Like it's not over 10, but I've definitely had the opportunity to be a national champion numerous times in sparring and in power breaking.
Nice.
And winning those national championships earned me those opportunities to go to a world championships.
Very cool.
So, and they're not every year. So we only have world championships every second year. And then in between that, we have world cups. So World Cup every 2 years and world championships every 2 years. And they just alternate between the two. So,
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's this year?
so as I said, they just finished the World Cup
so
in
now it's World
Argentina.
Championships?
So now coming up will be the World Championships. And those are actually going to be held in Croatia. So I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
So if I can get there as a coach, that's my goal for the next year. Obviously to get my students there, as many as I can. But my hope is to regain a spot on the national coaching staff.
Awesome.
And then go to Croatia with the team.
Oh, so you've been a national team coach before as well?
Yeah. So the last World Championships, I was selected for the coaching committee, or sorry, for the coaching staff for the first time, and that was in Finland.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was an awesome experience. Like, it's definitely, I knew with stepping away from competing, I wanted to get right into coaching again right away, because as a competitor, I don't feel I was even still ready to step away from competition. I feel like I'm still healthy. I can still kick. I feel like I could still do well. But to be successful at a world championship level, I don't feel I have the time to train for what's needed at that level.
Yeah.
So I knew right away that I wanted to go take a coaching path, and to become a national team coach has been like that was definitely the next sort of goal that I wanted to transition to, and to get that opportunity was like, it was amazing to be up front.
Yeah, that's cool.
At a world championships, not only just competing, but now as a coach was just amazing.
So Canadian champion, 5th Dan black belt, founder of a club here in Prince George. You've brought other students you've coached have made the world championships, etc.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a good journey so far.
That's exciting. Wow, what a life.
Yeah, exactly. No. We say in Taekwondo, like, we have a quote that whole life devoted to Taekwondo, and it's definitely something that I've completely embraced.
Yeah.
Yes, it's taken me away from family a lot with the traveling through different countries, but it's just one of those things. I've just grown to only know Taekwondo. I used to be a huge basketball player in high school, and I got my accolades for that. But Taekwondo just completely took over my life, and I try to live it every day.
That's great. What a different life it would have been if you went to college for basketball.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
Well, glad you chose this route because you wouldn't be playing basketball. Maybe men's league or something.
Funny enough, I don't think I was tall enough.
Really?
At 6'2", I don't think I was tall enough. And like high school, I was able to survive, but I walk through the hallways of these high schools now when I go and teach Taekwondo, and I'm like, this kid's only 16 years old and he's 6'6" and 6'7". Like this, it's crazy.
Yeah, the athletes these days. Hey?
Yeah.
6'7", come join Taekwondo.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be perfect for their training.
Yeah. We have a 10-year-old girl that just joined our school, and she's well over 5'8". Like she's super tall, and I'm like just so excited to get a tall kid in the gym, right? So
cool.
It's exciting.
Cool. I was excited about meeting. There was this girl when I started training. She started training maybe even after me. She came in from Hapkido.
Mm-hmm.
I forget her name at the moment, but wow, when I first trained with her, upside the head, like I didn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
She took it, like she was gentle with me, but let me
sure.
know, like I just got kicked upside the head.
Yeah.
Is she still training?
She's still training, yeah. And she's actually going to be testing tomorrow. We have our belt gradings going on tomorrow, so she'll be leveling up tomorrow for sure. And they're doing amazing. She's super talented. Obviously, it makes it a little bit easier on me having someone come into the sport and to the martial art so she trains in Hapkido, and she still does.
Still does.
Wow. So she's doing both. And the good thing is that a lot of the kicks that we practice here are the same ones that she already knows. So the sort of the transition between the two is like very, very similar. So no, she's been doing amazing. She's she was just recently competing with another one of our students, and the two of them have been kind of facing off against each other at tournaments over the past little while. Perfect. And she's close to winning, but she's gotten quite a few silver medals, but we'll get her into a gold medal soon. Like I said, one of our other students is to be getting that gold medal is good too. Like to have these two training partners within the same facility is just perfect for them, right?
Are they so they're same weight category and everything?
Same weight category, yeah. So
they probably make each other a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good to see them.
It is. Do you think you would ever compete again?
Well, I would love to say yes, but
I'd love to see you.
yeah, and I don't want to say unfortunately. I'm testing for my master level here in about a month and a half. So once you reach that level, it's no more competition anyway.
Wow.
So
okay, can you explain that? So what is master's level?
So we basically break our black belts into levels. So we'd have our first, second, and third dan or degree would be assistant instructors. And then we have our 4, 5, and 6 dan, which become international instructors. And then we have 7 and 8 gets you to your master level.
So you're going for your 7th?
Going for 7th, yeah.
Wow.
And then we have one final one is for our grandmaster, which is like obviously a very select few, but that becomes age requirements and years spent training and what have you done to promote or Taekwondo within your town, your country. And so it's there's a lot more that goes with becoming a grandmaster, which is 9th dan.
Beyond that.
But for now, I am just super excited to be able to go for my 7th here pretty soon. And it's to say that I'm going to have mastered Taekwondo in the next month and a half or so is definitely not something I thought about when I was 13. Much like you were saying, you want to get into martial arts for fighting, right?
Yeah.
And I felt growing up that I was kind of like, I wouldn't say I was weak, but I was just like really quiet and sort of humble. We're a Catholic family. We're like, don't hurt people and always be polite. And and someone sort of messes with you the wrong way, and I didn't want to be a pushover anymore, right? So not that I wanted to just go out there and just be some big bully. I just knew that I needed something to build up some confidence in myself, right? So
Same, yeah. Training with even still, it helps my confidence.
mm-hmm.
I remember when I took that year off and didn't even touch a volleyball. I trained fighting and then went back to university. And I'll brag for a second, but I was playing for U of M, Manitoba.
Yep.
We did a tournament at University of Winnipeg, and I got a first team All-Star my first weekend back.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty, so good for you. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love Taekwondo. Okay, well, maybe the vision collision could be so to make it to nationals this year in Quebec, do you have to compete, or can I just go there and do the round robin thing for white belt?
So for white belts, they don't have that. It's only for black belt division.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I'll have to wait for another.
You gotta put your time in and get that black belt first before you get to do that. But for the colored belts, it's just single elimination. So you still have to train super hard because you don't want to go all the way to Quebec and have one match.
Get spanked.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So
nice.
No, if you're definitely going to look into traveling for competition, we say this all the time. You got to make sure you put in that work because the last thing you want to do is travel all that way for one match, right? So,
okay. Well, I love it because Taekwondo, it welcomes people like me who I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. I don't have the time to consistently train Taekwondo, but I can still join.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that people of pretty much any age can go join.
100%. Yeah.
Even if I can't go all the time, but then there's also people like you who make it their life. So you welcome all those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to say, like, it's not just Taekwondo. I love Taekwondo, but I'm an advocate for all martial arts.
Nice.
I just think martial arts, if it's judo, karate, Taekwondo, MMA, jiu-jitsu, I think they're all amazing. And they all have those core values like we talked about earlier. And I think with anything, a lot of people are like, well, I can't do Taekwondo because I can't kick that high, or I can't do judo because I don't want to get thrown. Everything can be scaled, right? So Taekwondo can be scaled back to suit your body type or to suit whatever physical limitations you might have. Same as judo or jiu-jitsu, right? So everything can be scaled so that you just have to find one that you would be interested in, find one that you think is right for your body type. And, even if it just comes down to the schedule that works best for you, right?
Yeah.
But it's important to know that you can learn any martial art that you want at any age and any body type. You just have to scale it back. And as long as you and the instructor know that it has to be scaled back, and then it shouldn't matter what martial art you choose, right? I think they're beneficial to everyone. And I like I said, I love watching all martial arts, and whether it's kung fu movies or me and my sons, we love watching every single UFC event, right? So
cool.
And it's amazing. I love watching martial arts. Like I said, it's not just Taekwondo isn't my life. Martial arts is my life. And
that's awesome.
If you're a martial artist, you're my martial arts brother, because it's just amazing. I think it's awesome.
I love it. And so your brothers were both in Taekwondo. And your sons are in Taekwondo too?
Yeah. So both of my sons train Taekwondo. My oldest boy, who's 22, he is black belt.
Oh, nice.
And my youngest son is a blue belt. He was training when he was little as well, but he unfortunately had a really bad bike accident when he was a kid, and he was wearing his helmet. I make sure I say this. He was wearing his helmet, but he sustained a significant head injury from it. So my wife and I were actually in Italy at the time at a world championship when this happened. So it was a little bit scary for sure. And you ever want to feel like a helpless parent, go to another country and have one of your kids get significantly injured. Like you're literally you're at the mercy of taxi cab drivers, the airlines, you name it, right? The language barrier was like crazy to trying to deal with when we were there. And coming back, and he sustained this.
Oh, did you have to cut your trip short to come back?
We were only in Italy for about 3 days, and had to come home. We were going to be there for a couple of weeks. So
Wow.
yeah, but like I said, my son says he feels bad that we had to come home, but it's like that's what parents do, right?
It's family.
Yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, I missed out on world championships, but my son is my everything. So.
Yeah.
Making sure that we came back home for that was first and foremost, and we kind of just, as overbearing parents, we didn't let him compete for a long time, right? So because we didn't know what was going to happen should he sustain another impact to the head with a punch or a kick. So yes, we wear helmets and boxing gloves, but still, like, we just didn't want to take that risk. And so anyway, he turned 19, and we said, it's your choice now. You're an adult. If you want to get back into competing, it's up to you. And we took him down to the provincials, and he won.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, right back into it.
Nice.
Just came right back and
Nice.
kicked back down there. So yeah.
I wonder if he was visualizing that whole time when he wasn't training.
Yeah, I don't know. It was awesome because and kudos to his older brother. He didn't go down there with us, but gave him a lot of good tips and stuff to try to emulate or to perform while he's competing. And one of them was just trust your instinct, listen to dad. He's going to be there coaching you. So
Nice.
And he went in there and he did amazing, right?
Good for him.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a proud dad moment. It's just my oldest son has been a Western champion, and he was a North American silver medalist. So he definitely had his accolades, and this now for my son to continue, my youngest son, to continue on competing and to see him win, and how happy he was when he got that win. It was just, it's awesome.
That's
great.
amazing. So the Boudreau boys.
Yeah, they kicked butt. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. Speaking of kicking butt, Saturdays, your oldest son, does he still have those sparring sessions on Saturdays?
Yep. So every Saturday, he teaches a sparring and conditioning class.
Nice.
And it's the other day I went. Sometimes I'll step in and help him, but this is part of me wanting to see his growth. Is I let him. You have to plan every class. Like, I'll be there to help if needed, but I want to see you do the class schedule. I want to see you do the programming. I want to see you teach and you do the stretching, everything.
That's
right.
Great.
So anyway, this whole last week I've been sore beyond belief from the last class that he taught.
Nice.
So when we say sparring and conditioning, he definitely conditioned me that last class because I'm still sore from it. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So if somebody say, because I talk smack when I drink with my buddies and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, you should come in sometime and do this Saturday sparring session. Because I'd love to, you know how it goes from the beers. I don't want to go from the beers outside to the street. It's too tougher, but it'd be cool to come and join and spar with my buddies. Would you guys be cool if we did stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. We, you have to sign a waiver first.
Sign a waiver, drop in fee.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. It's, that's what it's for, right? Yeah. It's to come in and try to get the experience and see what our club is like, and realize that it's, martial arts, there's the whole mysticism behind martial arts is a thing of the past, right? And when I was first looking at martial arts as a kid, they had like paper all over the wall so you couldn't see in there, and it's like, why? Like it's wide open, right? And
parents watch now, right?
Yeah, parents come to watch. We want people to see how amazing it is in here. Why close it off, right? So for sure, bringing in people and letting them experience is what it's all about, right?
And how much of a workout it is too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's humbling. We've had a lot of guys come in that are like, oh, I've done this, I've done that, and I want to try to get in there. And like, okay, well, we're gonna match you up with this 16-year-old girl right here, right? And it's like,
next thing you know, you're getting kicked upside the head.
Oh. Exactly, yeah. Or even just an unsuspecting, 50-year-old dad, right?
Yeah.
Just how much skill that these people actually have with the training that they've been given, right? So
there's one of your black belts. I forget his name right now. It's not Brad. Anyways, I was doing older guy, a little bit of a beer belly, quite a bit of a beer belly.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were holding the pads, and he just whoa, wouldn't even know it. But
yeah, exactly right.
It's cool.
No, for sure. That's another thing that we try to focus on too. It's just not there's a lot of people that can be in really good shape and have the worst technique ever and hit really hard. But when you take the time to teach a martial arts technique sort of scientifically, and you break down the body mechanics and how it should actually be delivered, you don't have to be a super athlete to generate a lot of power, right? So and it can't, it's exactly it. It can be unsuspecting for some people to produce a lot of power. And it's just like, whoa, I never would have thought that person could even kick that high yet. Here they are throwing kicks at 6.5 feet in the air, no problem, right?
Yeah. Sheesh, I got humbled. I definitely got humbled in your classes. And after that, after I trained the kicking, getting that kicking motion going again, my drives at golf, I hit way further.
Right. Oh, good,
maybe it was the timing thing and snap or something.
Yeah.
So
we definitely, like I said, when you break down the mechanics of how your body can actually move, it's easy to see how it relates to so many other things, right? Like growing up, I was a skateboard kid, right?
Oh, really?
And so I've never had an issue with balance, right? But you start throwing your kicks out there and you start to turn when your kick is up high. Well, it's a little bit different, right, than having your 2 feet planted firmly on a skateboard. But it's amazing how when you finally start to really dissect how your body moves and works and what muscles get engaged, how it reflects and how it translates into other avenues as well.
To other sports. Yeah. So true. Speaking of growing up, did you grow up in Prince George?
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life.
Your whole life?
Yeah,
Nice.
48 years I've lived in this town,
Cool.
So a lot of people want to get out of here. I love Prince George.
I love it too.
I think it's great here. We got, if you're into outdoors, there's like, you couldn't be better. You're submerged right in the middle of the smack dab in the center of BC. And I don't know, like I said, sometimes PG gets a bad rap, but I love it
Good. People
here.
could stay away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love it here too. It keeps drawing me back.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's just, like I said, I grew up in a little rural neighborhood, and it's obviously grown up and built up over the years, but I literally live one neighborhood away from where I grew up even.
Nice.
So I had moved through a couple different places in the city as I got older, but yeah, where we are situated now, it's literally, I go for walks past my childhood home all the time. So
Oh, that's cool. So you were a Boudreau boy walking in that neighborhood. Now your Boudreau sons are walking around.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, still keeping an eye on things, right? So
What school did you go to?
I went to Vanway. Vanway was my elementary school, and College Heights was my high school.
Okay, nice. I was a Heart boy.
Oh yeah,
You probably experienced some of the Heart boys back in the day.
Oh yeah, we've had our share of being out at the lake or whatever, and then some Heart guys show up, right, and take your licks. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's part of it, right.
Yeah, making each other
Part of being a teenager is
Yeah.
having a run in with the Heart boys every now and then, for sure. Yeah.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah,
Hey?
yeah, exactly.
So, there's so many stories I have from childhood, which I can't even really repeat now. Just watching my buddies and
Yeah,
the so-called heart boys around me.
yeah, yeah.
Because I did feel, you briefed on it when you were younger. You didn't say you felt weak, but I did feel weak as a young guy. So skinny, little nerdy. Skinny, nerdy kid, tall, skinny, and all the Heart boys were around me, my buddies and stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel tough until I started training.
Yeah.
And then getting into that, then you realize, well, you could be a tall, skinny nerd athlete and learn how to fight and be quite effective, and you could defend people
Totally,
respectfully. So
no, for sure. I found like again, like I didn't feel necessarily weak. I felt like weak-minded. Like I was always taught to just be so nice and caring for everyone, and like that's an amazing attribute to have, for sure. Like that's my mom's side of thing. My dad grew up in Windsor, Ontario, just across the river from Detroit, so he had a little bit different mentality growing up then. So we definitely had this balance of like my soft-spoken mom and my sort of very outspoken, I don't want to say abrasive. My dad was just a big, rough, tough guy, right? So we had that balance. And again, I just felt like in certain situations where I should probably speak up or do something, I just didn't have that in me. I was like, oh, I'll just like let it be and be passive, right? So martial arts definitely helped me break out of that. And it's funny you mentioned King of the Cage, because I did do a King of the Cage.
Nice.
and I don't want to swear, but I got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Right. It lasted a very short amount of time, but being in that situation, the stress of having so many people watching, and I'd only been practicing a little bit of judo for a couple months. I'd already had my black belt in Taekwondo, but with mixed martial arts, you need to be so diverse in all aspects of stand up and takedowns and wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I had one avenue, right? So I'll try it out, right? See what happens. And yeah, I got my butt kicked. I had some stitches and my eye got all swollen up, but it just showed me that like a person can actually take a pretty solid beating.
Mm-hmm.
And I got up and I shook the guy's hand, and yeah, I had a black eye for sure, but it just wasn't the end of the world, right? So we need to know that like our bodies are capable of taking more punishment than we kind of give it credit for, right? And so I wouldn't change the fact that I did that for anything. I love that experience.
In the cage, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a story about that. Was that when you caught the guy, you kicked him right in the head? And
yeah, it was like the first 3 seconds of the match. I thought I won it, honestly. Yeah. Like I'd never labeled someone that hard with a kick, and he just walked right through it. I thought I had a great kick. I've knocked out quite a few people, and then this guy just took it, right? So
took you
it's like, whoa, man, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, and then I got taught a lesson after it, but it was like still a great guy. And when it was all said and done, so you said, that's the great thing about martial arts, whether it's traditional style martial arts or it's mixed martial arts. When it's over, you can have that camaraderie, right? And I had the opportunity to train briefly with him afterwards, and it's for that couple of minutes where you're hitting each other and trying to choke each other out. Yeah, that's what competition is. But when it's all said and done, still a good guy, and still totally appreciate the opportunity to compete against a fellow martial artist, right?
Yeah, cool. Well, our time is actually almost up.
It's been great.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. So a month and a half until you're a master.
Yeah, no, I'm really, man, I'm excited, super nervous. I don't like titles, and I'm not ego driven, but to know that I'm going to be able to obtain my master level, and I've spent just over 35 years doing Taekwondo now, right? So, I'm definitely excited to obtain that title of master. But yeah, it's just definitely something I didn't think was going to happen years ago, and now here I am a month away from it. So we'll see what it's going to be like the night before, right? I actually have to travel to Vancouver to do this.
So yeah. Do you say good luck? Is that what's fair to say? Or?
You can say good luck. Yeah, best of luck for sure. Yeah.
Nice. Will you be the only master in Prince George history Taekwondo? No,
for sure. There's been a number of masters in Prince George and the surrounding area for sure. Yeah, so definitely not the first. Hopefully, I'm not the last either. Right? We have some of my own students that just recently tested for their sixth dan, where I am right now.
Oh wow!
So 7, 8 more years, 9 years, and they'll be getting their master level as well. So again, I'm not the first, and again, hopefully not the last. So
well, maybe he'll be a grandmaster one day.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. We'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jordan, thanks for coming.
No, I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Excellent. Thank you.